So here we are. Now, today we're going to dive into the fascinating world of rhythm and what makes a jig sound like a jig. And how can we feel the difference between simple and compound time? Well, by the end of this little mini lesson, I'm sure you'll be having those rhythms kind of dancing along in your head and it'll be a little bit clearer. So first, let's talk about simple time. Now, I think I'm going to pull up something on the screen for you here. So simple time is when each beat, boom, 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 however many beats you have, each beat splits into two parts. Let me show you this. I'm going to show you now. There we go. Now I've got a little something that you can say along with this to help you remember it. So the thing that you can say with the rhythm that you see on the screen is all the beats split in two. If you really want, split them yet again. Now, if you've done a few lessons with me, you might realize that's the rhythm that we have. Te, te, ta, te, te, ta. Tika, tika, ta, tika, tika, ta. All the beats split in two. If you really want, split them yet again. You see? So let me just bring this happy face along. Hello. So look, te, te, ta, te, te, ta. Tika, tika, ta, tika, tika, ta. Like that. So all the beats split in two. If you really want, split them yet again. So 2-4, you can see the top number 2 tells you 2 beats in the bar. The bottom number 4 means that the beat is one of these crotchets or tar notes. So there are 2 of those beats in every bar. Now, and you can see that they break up into these 2 te notes, or tika tika can split into 2 again. So that's simple time. And perhaps as you're hearing that, maybe you're thinking, yeah, it kind of sounds quite even and tidy. It's snappy, it's crisp, it feels kind of quite precise. Now, let's just take that down a second. Compound time, should we take our smiley face down as well? A bit off-putting. So compound time has a completely different feel. And here, I'm just going to pull one up on the screen. There we go. And here in compound time, each beat splits into 3 parts instead of 2. So in 6/8 time, like you see here, you've got basically 2 beats in the bar, just like we did have in 2/4, but each one feels like a little triplet, a group of 3 notes. So perhaps what I can do is, like I had a little thing to say on the last one, here we could say another one like this. We go, every beat splits into 3. Can you feel the grouping in 3? I'll say that again. And maybe I'll bring the smiley face back. We want you back. Okay, so every beat splits into 3. Got that first one okay? Can you feel the grouping in 3? I'm sorry if my smiley face wasn't 100% lined up. I did try. Every beat splits into 3. Can you feel the grouping in 3? So wouldn't you agree that actually it feels very, very different? It has that kind of rolling, I always think of it like a rolling, lilting sound, and that's really what compound time is all about. But perhaps to really hear the difference, what we could do is, let's get to that smiley face for a moment. We could have both up on the screen, okay? And I tell you what I'll do, I'll put my metronome on. Okay, so it's just clicking along in the background, okay? And depending on where the smiley face is, I want you to either go te, te, ta, te, te, ta, or te, 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 tam, te, 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 tam. By the way, let's turn it up for a second. I did just forget to go through the rhythm names of this compound time one. Te, 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 they're just te notes, aren't they? Te, 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 tam. And we say tam, the m on the end just makes it last that little bit longer. A dotted crotchet basically lasts for 3 quavers, so it's an extra quaver compared with the one, just a regular tar crotchet. So te, 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 tam, te, 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 tam, ta, te, ta, te, 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 tam. That's how you'd say it in rhythm sounds. Okay, let's put the metronome back on. And we're going to have a go at saying the rhythms of either the 2/4 or of the 6/8. Ready? Te, te, ta, te, te, ta. tika tika ta, tika tika ta. Now 6/8, te 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 tom, te 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 tom, ta te ta, te 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 tom. Back. Let's try it again. 1, 2, te te ta, te te ta. This one, te 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 tom, te 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 tom. Back to this one, te te ta, te te ta. Walk with the beat. Why don't you? Te 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 tom, te 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 tom. Tika tika ta, tika tika ta, ta te ta, te 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 tom. Let's leave that there. Now, okay. Oh, isn't that interesting? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I think that's kind of interesting. Now, can you split tika tika? You can. Yeah, you can. You can have shorter notes than tika tika even. Good question, Alice. So I don't know whether that helps, just having the two side by side like that. But let's connect that to the idea of jigs. That's what we said, didn't we? That jigs have this rhythm. So let's go to a jig now. I've got one here. This is a very famous jig, Irish jig, called the swallowtail jig. And let me just go ahead and play it for you now. Here we go. Okay, so it's just going to be a little melody that I'm going to play to you. And I just want to see if you can feel the 6/8 time, that compound time that is in a jig. 1, 2, 1, 2. One and a two, two and a one and a two and a one and a two, one and a two and a one and a two and two and a one and a two and a one and a two and a one and a two. And so on. So that's a jig, an Irish jig in 6/8 time. Doesn't it feel kind of that rolling, lilting thing? When you hear it, you can kind of feel, it's impossible to not tap your foot, I think, to a piece like that. You can feel the yeah, ba, 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 ba. And very good. Thank you, Fortune Family. You said rashers and sausages. Now, you mentioned this to me before. Rashers and sausages is a really, really good way of feeling compound time. So I'll share that with the class. Rashers and sausages, rashers and sausages, rashers and sausages, rashers and sausages, rashers and sausages. That might be hard to say at speed. Rashers and sausages, rashers, and sorry to all the vegetarians watching, but rashers and sausages, rashers and sausages. And then for the other rhythm we heard in the swallowtail jig just then, so we had this one, Humpty Dumpty. You may have heard Humpty Dumpty. Who hasn't heard Humpty Dumpty? That's in 6/8 as well, in compound time. It has that same feel. So just so that we're clear about the difference, I want to play a little thing to you. It's basically something in 2 time. Where was it now? And just so you can hear the difference. You know, you've had all this yep, up, 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 up. Okay, now listen to something that's in simple time when the beat divides up into 2 parts. Here we go. 1 and 2. You see? And 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Let's go again. 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 2 and 1 and 2. And you hear that? How it splits up into 2? I don't know. For me, it feels kind of more kind of neat and tidy in simple time. Not better, I'm saying, but just has that kind of neat and tidy sound. Whereas the jig in 6/8 in compound time feels, it's grouping in 3, isn't it? So I hope that kind of makes sense, the difference between the two. Perhaps what we can do is just get you trying it yourselves. So if we just go quickly back to the rhythm that we had a moment ago, this one here. Now, I don't know whether you tapped it or clapped it earlier when we were doing it, but if you didn't, now is the time to do that. What we're going to do, actually, I'll stand up. Maybe you could stand up with me. A very good vegetarian alternative, carrots and cucumbers. That would work. Carrots and cucumbers. Brilliant. Yeah, thank you for that. So, yeah, cool. Okay, so here we go then. So we're going to go 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's the rhythm, and walking those beats. Dun, 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 like that. Now, we could even sing a little melody, couldn't we? I mean, ya da da da. You could just make something up. I'll tell you what, I'll do it once, making up a melody, and then you do the next one, making up your own melody. Just kind of sing with whatever sound you want, la, whatever. It doesn't matter. Don't have to go with ta ta ta. Just do whatever you want. 1, 2, 1, 2. Ya ba ba ba, ya ba ba ba, yum bum 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 bum. Ya ba ba ba, ya ba ba ba, dum bum 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 ba 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 ba. My turn. Ya ba ba ba, ya ba ba ba, yum bum bum bum, yum bum bum bum. Ya ba ba ba, ya ba ba ba, yum bum bum ba, ya ba ba ba. And there we go, that'll do. So, welcome to the world of compound time. It sounds, oh no, compound time, what on earth does that mean? Well, hopefully now you had a taste of it, and it makes a bit more sense. But now, we're going to carry on with the lesson and talk about some instruments commonly found in Irish folk music. Warning, you're about to hear some very amateur accordion playing. Hey, so if you enjoyed that, go to musicwiththeworld.com and find out how you can join our lessons each week live.